Going on, guys? This is Thrifty. This is a Thoughts with Thrifty segment. Let me go ahead and take some time right now to get this shared out to my other platforms. And by other platforms, I make it sound so serious. It's just Twitter. Give me just a minute. And I have no clue why it blocked out Opus. Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't know what happened here. Anyways, let me go ahead and get this shared out, and I will be more than happy to start giving my thoughts. Bear with me just a moment. All right, what's up, Toolman? I am just getting this stuff shared out. I have no idea why YouTube like took out Opus. Like, what's up, RP Gaming? RP Gaming, is it RPG amming or is it RP gaming? It's kind of confusing because I see what you did there. You kind of got like a little double inside your name. That's, Eminem, Knox Hill, those guys would be super proud of you, man. Yeah, I have no idea why it took out my stuff. That's so weird. RP Gaming. I got you. I got you. Okay. So, got a couple of y'all in the chat already. Let's go ahead and just get this party started. Tonight, as the title suggests, I am. A name change may come. Why? 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 I mean, I like RP gaming. Like I said, it's a nice little double. Lets folks know you're into gaming, into RPGs. Does two at once. That's kind of nice. Every 15-year-old's fantasy. All right. So, as the title suggests, I am going to be going over some stuff that's happened over this last week. And, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, might be a good idea to change it. Speaking of YouTube, for those who watch this later, the Wednesday show is actually getting a name change. I am wanting to save Thoughts with Thrifty for a more intimate environment where it's just me. I feel like Thoughts with Thrifty kind of excludes other people from joining the conversation. Or it's like, hey, Thoughts with Thrifty, I thought of Thoughts with Thrifty and Friends, but everything I did kept like lengthening the title. So spoke with a buddy of mine, and him and I came up with Thrifty Gaming News Podcast. So on Wednesdays at 8:30, that's where that's going to be. And then anytime I feel the urge to read a few articles and break those down, then I will go ahead and do these thoughts with Thrifty. And so that's actually what we're doing tonight. Popping tags. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Sorry, if that's slang, I am very white. So like very. Macklemore. Oh, I don't listen to Macklemore. Sorry. That's why. If they got popular past like 2005, I have no idea who they are. Anyways, so tonight I'm going to cover some articles. I'm going to go over a bit of um, a rumor that was I saw Zubitech kind of post it earlier, but I hadn't been able to find any other articles to kind of like back that up. But I still want to cover it and talk about some of my worries about it. I'm a metalcore dude at heart. Metalcore, hey, I actually like, uh, you're going to laugh, but some Christian metalcore people, they're actually pretty daggum good. Demon Hunter, buddy of mine got me onto that, and they are fan-freaking-tastic. But anyways, I'm going to be covering a couple different articles tonight, and I'm going to end up uh, discussing, like I said, something Zubitech reported on, and then give my thoughts on Pixelopus because that's a whole interesting thing. So, also, as anybody who's followed me for any period of time on these newscasts, podcasts, whatever the heck I want to call them, I'm very much in the mind of let's talk about gaming. And so for the two players that I know the most about, that's Xbox and PlayStation. I know considerably more about PlayStation than I do Xbox because I don't, what's that word? I don't ride the Johnson of Microsoft. And so I don't really keep my ear to the ground or head in the crotch of anything that has to do with Xbox at all. Followed them a lot more. Boo hoo Xbox. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of that, let's get into my first article. So we're going to start with the negative side of the interview first. I wanted to report on this on Friday, or not Friday, on Thursday, but my oldest kid actually got like taken to the ER for some breathing issues, and so I didn't feel it was right while I was sitting at home with my youngest asleep to hop on and do a podcast or a Thoughts with Thrifty. We got Jez in the house? What the heck? Now that's some love, man. I appreciate Jez. Thank you, man. That's great. What's up? All right, so we're going to get into this. It's from GameIndustry.biz. I wanted to find a full transcript of the entire interview, but I was unable to secure such an article. But there's a few different places who have reported on it using full excerpts from the article. And here we go. So GameIndustry.biz. I'll get to who did this at the end. But it says, Phil Spencer, we are not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. No kidding. Head of Xbox says Microsoft lost the worst generation to lose. With Xbox One, with Xbox One, and has to compete by doing different things like Game Pass and xCloud. Phil Spencer says making great games wouldn't be enough for Xbox to claw out of third place in the console race. Can we all understand real quick that when people are saying that they are in third place, that is last. Like, when you talk about consoles, if you're in the third spot, you're last. Like, let's stop calling it third place. I mean, technically, yes, that's true. But if I get second place in a head-to-head match, that means I lost. If you ain't first, you're last. That's right, man. Ricky Bobby on him. Hey, we got 5 people in here right now. Let's hit that like button, share this out. I'd really appreciate it. I won't be as hard on that tonight as I am when y'all are at my news show. But just because this was impromptu, if you could help me out, that'd be awesome. So anyways, so they're last. They're not third. In an appearance on the Kinda Funny Xcast published today on YouTube, this article was from a few days ago, Spencer laid out the reasons for the company's pursuit of subscription services like Game Pass and cloud gaming technology. Quote, we are not in the business of outselling or of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo, Spencer said. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. Like, that crap, nice guys finished last. No kidding. I feel like if I just met Phil Spencer at like a Gamescom or a gaming convention, I feel like him and I would hit it off, and like I'd love talking about just video games or stuff like that. No more marshmallows, dude. It's If you look at when he took over just a few years ago, or interviews from a few years ago, dude looks like he's been the president of the United States of America. Like every president that I can remember goes in with a perfectly like brown or black head of hair, right? Just wonderful hair. And when they leave, it's it's gray. Like even Trump went in with orange hair and came out with some white hair. Like it's nuts. And that's what Phil Spencer looks like. It looks like he's been through the freaking ringer. Stress will do that. No kidding. Like, so we're not in the business of a great solution, not a win for us, okay? And I know that that will upset a ton of people, but the truth of the matter is, when you're third place, last place, in the console marketplace, and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, a very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team, that's on us, not on anybody else. Okay, so I want to kind of break this down because it's a backhanded statement at Sony and Nintendo for the way they operate their exclusive deals. But even at the end of that, his delusion is broken for a second. And he's like, you know what? That's not really on them, though. Like, we have the money to do so. You know, part of me feels, as I've kind of taken a few days to think about this, part of me feels like his hands are being completely and 100% tied behind his back. No. Booty's not in the bathroom. He's getting them coffee, man. Oh, man. No, he's getting them coffee. He's helping them with whatever they need. That dude's getting coffee. He's doing Uber runs. He's doing DoorDash for them. He's doing everything. He only gets paid in tips, and he gets $2.35 per thing, per delivery. So like, it's very like I feel like his hands are 100% tied. Yeah, his hands are tied behind his back. Listen to him, because he says that in certain cases they make a very discreet focus on doing deals and other things that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. Pause. That's on us. It's not on anybody else. That's on us. And when he says us, think about it. That's Microsoft as a whole. Like, listen, it's our fault that we haven't secured these deals. We could do all the back end crap like we did back in the early 2000s, where we take Final Fantasy away from being exclusive because we drop a boatload of money on Square Enix. Like, we can go to companies like Crystal Dynamics and go, hey, we want Tomb Raider again. We know you're working on one. Give us Tomb Raider. I said this in last week's show. And so, like, he understands that, hey, this is our fault. Toolman, don't jump ahead of me. Like, you're jumping ahead of me here. And then the article continues. Spencer said Microsoft is invested in making sure Xbox owners have a great experience and feel catered to. But seemed to acknowledge it can't beat Sony or Nintendo using a traditional console strategy. And you know, this does sound very much like a defeatist mentality, but at the same time, I think he's just being very, very, like, honest with this. Like, he is not gaining a ton of market ground this gen. He's just not. Now, I have said it before, and I've mentioned it to a couple people, but I think if I'm going to put what I hope happens, like, in my hat here, you know, and I think this could end up being like the PS3 was for PlayStation, right? So with the PS3, it came out to a really, really rough launch. And a couple years go by, still kind of rough, but they've ironed out a lot of things. And then, dude, all the freaking hits just start dropping. God of War 3 and Last of Us, to name two. Like, all of the hits start dropping. And then they come back and they carry that good faith into the PS4. And the PS4 continues giving us great games. And then the PS5 comes and they come out with launch titles. They come out with new titles every few months. Now, it's awesome. And whether that's through third-party one-year timed exclusives or that's through first-party studios, we end up getting games all the time. But they do that now because they screwed up and learned from the PS3. Now, I would hope that these folks had learned from the Xbox One, but apparently some people are really stubborn and kind of thick in the skull, and they don't catch on fast enough. They have to be beaten to submission before they finally say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should try something else. Yeah, I'm tired of games not having lock 60. I'll go ahead and take a sidestep here. I absolutely hate games that do not have a locked 60 frames. It shouldn't be happening with this software, with this hardware that we have. It just shouldn't. One of my concerns is that Miles Morales is going to run better than Spider-Man 2. Like, I don't know why I feel that way, but I kind of feel that way. Phil don't want third party because he wanted to focus on first party. Well, he sucks at focusing on first party. They focused on it enough to release a really crappy game and a pretty fun indie title from what folks say. So let's continue here. So I think Phil's being honest. He's just like, listen, we're not going to beat them. Okay? He said we can't beat Sony or Nintendo using a traditional console strategy. Okay? So... He said that too. I'm getting there. I see it out there. I see commentary that if we just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to... Okay, hell no. Let's stop right there. I'm done. Hang on. No, sidetracking is fine, man. That's what I like to do. I like the interactive chat style. Nice tools. He's a tool, all right. It's just not true that if we build great games that all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in a dramatic way. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a second because this guy is... This is the, hey, nobody thought we'd make it to the playoffs, and we got to the playoffs, so our season's a win. That is a loser's mentality, okay? I know this because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and that has been my mentality since 1998. Yeah, 8. Like, if we could just make it to the playoffs, well, it was a good season. Like, no, that's expecting and anticipating failure. Those are not the words of somebody who's excited about the brand, who's excited to do new things, who's excited to push out these games. That's a dude that's been punched in the teeth about 7 or 8 times in a 2-hour period and just wants to go home. Like, that's what this sounds like. Like, you know what? I've tried. We're not going to. We already lost Xbox One. I'm not going to be able to do this no matter how many great games we build. The fallacy here is that when the PS3, I'm going to keep going back to that because Sony has been here. Yes, he does need to clarify this because this is, and it's not just this quote, right? It's that entire segment of the interview, that entire answer to the question that he should have been able to clarify. And I was on a stream in the chat earlier, and Paris was on there, and Paris had actually said that they had free reign to ask anything and everything. I don't know if that's true, but I'm saying that's what was said. So, like, that interesting, because that means it wasn't coerced. It wasn't like, hey, we want you to ask these questions. Like, it was an open interview. So, if that's true, heck, kudos to Phil for taking those shots on the chin. And, I mean... Anyways, we're not going to talk about shots on the chin. Pause. So I feel like he's not understanding. I don't believe Paris either. It's hard for me to believe that, but it feels like he's saying, like, it feels like he's out of touch with reality of the console market, because back with the PS3, and like I said, I'm going to keep coming back to that because this was the time that Sony faltered, and they faltered hard. They went down from 150 million PS2 sales to 88 million PS3 sales. Like, that is a jump of almost 50% of your market share. Where did it go? Well, a lot of it went to Xbox, because the 360 gave great games. If God of War 3 would not have released, I would have left the PS3 and went straight over to the 360. Because dang it, I wanted to play Halo. I wanted to play Gears. I wanted to play Fable. I wanted to play those games. A lot of my friends had them. They thought I was crazy for owning a PS3. They said, man, what do you have that big Easter egg sitting on your freaking thing for? Because I had the big bubble one. And, like, they make fun of me. And they had this cool looking green and black box that was like, had the X logo. Oh my God. It was just like, I almost went over there because they had the games. Now, fast forward to today. Sure, it's not going to be an instant gratification. Okay, which that isn't out, that he's kind of built into here, is that we're not going to see the console share shift in some dramatic way. The way everybody is interpreting that, including myself, is that it's just not going to shift. But he gave him an out to say, no, I mean, I expect it to shift if we give good games, but just not in a dramatic way. It's that political bullshit stuff speak that is what you get a lot of times with corporate guys. And so it's this whole thing that he needs to understand that if you produce good games, sure, people might not sell their PS5, but they might go ahead and get a Series S or a Series X, because dadgummit, I want to play Hellblade. I want to play Fable whenever that one actually finally comes out in 35 years. I got a friend of mine right now who said once Skyrim 6 drops, or Elder Scrolls 6, he's getting it. Like, and he will have an Xbox sitting right next to his PS5 just for that. Because good games lead people to purchase your console. Shut up, Toolman. I almost did. Stop it. So listen, I played some Fable 1 on my mobile device. I got Game Pass for $1. Kept it for a week. Technically, I kept it for the full 30 days because they don't refund the money, but I canceled it after a week because Fable was, anyways, it was dog water. It feels very much like he's defeated, guy. Like, that's the only word that can keep coming to my head. Like, this is a loser mentality. This is well, you know what? I can't do anything. Look at the quarterback y'all gave me. Look at the point guard I have. I mean, we're never going to do this. Well, yeah, it would if you put good players on the freaking court. It would work. It's not hard to see that. Like, why in the freaking world does every PS5 owner right now say they would probably never considering buying a Series X or even a PC sometimes? 9 times out of 10, it's because we already eat super well on the PS5. So anything that the other systems can offer, it's null and void, because we're like, no, we got food here. Like, I'm very big at cooking at my own house, right? I love it. This morning, I made homemade sausage, biscuits, and gravy. And it was phenomenal. I'm not going to go down the road to IHOP or to the Waffle House. Well, I might go to Waffle House, but I'm not going to go to IHOP and get their biscuits and gravy because I can make it at home and I can make it better. Does that make sense? So why would I want to leave PlayStation right now? I have all the games. They're coming out. I get exclusive titles. I get my Final Fantasy, and I'm good. It's fine. I can eat at home. I don't have to go get anything else. I don't have to. I'm good. But, if a new restaurant down the road opens and I start hearing people talking, man, their biscuits and gravy, oh my God, it's fire. You got to go check it out. You got to go do this. It's going to drive me to at least check it out. At least try it out, right? So if you develop a good product, it's going to lead people to test out your brand. It it does that to everybody, RP. Like, that's just the facts. So to say this, it tells me that you're out of, either one, you're out of touch with reality, you need to get out of the business because you're done. Or two, it tells me that you're being fed a bunch of bullcrap from your corporate, head of Microsoft, and Satya's making you swallow that down and making you regurgitate that crap back out. Like, don't worry, Phil. It's not this. It's fine. Console sales aren't even that important. Console games is not what we're pushing for. We got to push for Game Pass. Yes, Satya, you're an idiot. How do you get people to purchase Game Pass? By giving good games. And Phil, I don't think Phil's an idiot. I think he knows that. I think that he has been giving talking points. He's been giving talking points. There's that Southern Arkansas crap coming out in me. Good Lord. He's been giving talking points by Microsoft. That's what it feels like, because he knows better than to say that stuff. Like, he knows that that's not going to go over well. He has to. Either that or he is the most incompetent leader I have ever seen. And that's saying a lot, considering the past, 8 years. Like this, that's saying a lot. So let's keep going. The idea that if we just focus more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race. I think that doesn't relate to the reality of most people. Okay, so what he's doing here is drawing a difference between the hardcore gamer and the casual gamer. Because I think he does have a point here. Giving more great games on a console to somebody who just has their certain plastic box to play Fortnite or to play Call of Duty or, one of the other MMOs, Final Fantasy 14, like, those guys don't give a rip about the newest title coming out or the quality of the latest AAA game. They might pick it up later on sale when their seasons are over, but they don't care. And so I think he's saying that to the normal people is not gonna matter. And so he's trying to find the hook to get people to come to their system using casual gamer means, right? Which is why they were trying so hard and are trying so hard to buy ABK. This will be the only time I mention ABK in this whole thing because I'm tired of that dang thing. But when you buy them, you now have a reason for the casual gamer to choose your console over another, right? You now have a reason. And that reason is, well, Call of Duty. But you'll also have in that deal Diablo, and you'll also have in that deal the mobile market, right? And so you're getting a ton of stuff that can then drive people to Game Pass and drive people to your console. Right now, he's basically saying, hey, we don't have that. No matter what kind of great games we make, that's not going to matter to the casual person. And he's saying their heels are already dug in where they're at. Part of me thinks that's true. The other part of me thinks, dude, you need to try. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and, oh, crud, something Lions podcast, I think. Anyways, really cool group of like 4 or 5 guys on there, and one of them was talking, and they were like, listen, I want Xbox to fight and to act like they're in first place. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. The interview was very damaging. If he if he had some good stuff. Well, I am going to get to the positive part of the interview here in a second, because I think there was some stuff that, sadly to say, future Xbox fans can get excited about. But we're going to get to that in a second. Spencer said around 90% of the people who buy consoles each year are already in one of the 3 main ecosystems, so why not go after the 10%? because out of the market, that means you're still going out. Yeah, Lions Den podcast. There we go. Uh, the idea that if we focus on more, blah, 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 already read that, 90%, 10%. Here we go. So the 10%, if the gaming market is 400 million, that means about 40 million of them would switch. You're telling me 40 million new console sales for Xbox wouldn't be kind of good? Like, we're not trying to change the world here, Phil. All we're trying to do is sell a freaking plastic box. But you gotta have something to play on that box. I literally sat at the dinner table with my wife on Friday night, and I said, you know, honey, if I wanted to create a video game console, what's the one thing that I would need to be able to sell with that console? And she goes, well, video games. I said, God damn. There we go. Woohoo! It's there. Like, my wife gets it. She's not a gamer. And then I asked her, and I said, so, honey, if my games come out and they're janky, or they're little tiny indie passion projects, and these other guys over here are doing the indie passion projects, and they're releasing really high quality games, who do you think's gonna get more sales? And she goes, well, the one doing the better games. I said, holy crap, give her Phil's job. Dude, I'm telling you. Like, she got it, and she doesn't game. Her gaming experience was watching me play through the entirety of Last of Us on the PS3, and she's watched me play some of Horizon because she loves the mechanical dinosaurs in there. She thinks they look really cool. So, like, that's it. She she doesn't know much more, and she knows that I have a PS5. Like, that's it. So, like, why not go after that 10%? Why not? Who cares if the other 90% are there? You can build a market out of that 10, and then you can grow your existing market. I mean, here's the deal. If you're already last place, might as well try to get some more market cap while you're here. I mean, it's such a defeatist mentality. Like, sure, ecosystems, all that crap, it's all common sense. That's why what Phil said is so shocking and telling how clueless they are. I'm telling you, that's why I have never seen a business operate like this. And I was talking to, who was I talking to about this? I think it was Salty. Like, if I did this kind of performance at my job, I would have been fired like weeks ago. This wouldn't have happened. And this doesn't happen anywhere else other than corporate America. Like, it just doesn't. The continuity for this generation is so strong. I see a lot of pundits out there that kind of want to go back to a time when we all had cartridges as a disc and every new generation was a clean slate, that you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world we are in today. There is no world where Starfield is an 11 out of 10 and people are selling their PS5. That's not going to happen. And you know what? When I first heard this, I jumped on and was like, you're an idiot. Yes, they would. Blah, blah, blah. You're just saying you can't make... No. What he's saying there is 100% accurate and true. There is no world where Starfield is an 11 out of 10 and people sell their PS5. And he's right. But what it might do is it might get my buddy who's a huge Skyrim fan, and the reviews come out, and all of a sudden on his timeline, because he searched up a lot of Skyrim like tutorials, walkthroughs, things like that, it pops up Starfield, Skyrim in space. And boom, he's hooked. And then he goes down that rabbit hole. He's like, holy crap, this game looks gorgeous. It runs well. All this crap that I can do. You made a good product. And now what happens? Oh my God, he buys a console. Like, it's not effing rocket science. But what he said is true. I don't think people would ditch their PS5s just because one good game came out. Xbox needs consistency. Xbox needs drive. And Xbox absolutely needs games. Period. Like, and that right there, RP Gaming just said, dude, I'd settle for 8.5 to 8.0 to 8.5 for Starfield. Right. Like, here's the deal. I've played a lot of games that were 7 and above that were really enjoyable. I've played some games that were 5s and 6s, but I had fun with them. Doesn't mean they're great games, doesn't mean they're wonderfully amazing, doesn't mean they run good, but it means I had fun with them. Outriders, I use that example all the time. That game was a broken mess when it first came out. Like, me and two of my buddies bought it, and that was my team. That was our squad. And I kid you not, that game used to have us in the lobby trying to connect with each other for 30, 45 minutes when it first launched. And then we'd be playing and it would dip out. But we had a blast with that stupid game. I have 500 hours in it. My buddy Cyrus, he has like 6 or 700. Like, it's nuts. But that game was a 5 to 6. And I had a wonderful time with it. So, when some of these channels come out and say, listen, Redfall is a crappy, crappy, awful mess, but it's fun, like, I can be okay with that. But don't tell me it's a great game, because the two don't have to be partnered together. You can be a fun game and still be crap. Everybody has that movie, right? Everybody has that one movie that they go back to. Everybody has that one movie that they're like, you know what, this movie is god awful, but I just love it. It's not a good movie. It's not something I want to watch around my friends because they think I'm crazy, but I love watching it. One of them for me is Iron Eagle 4. It's a movie from like the late 80s, early 90s, and it was as my buddy Church would call it, it was a stick jockey film, and it's not a good movie. It's the 4th one in the series, and it's just god-awful. But I enjoy the freaking movie. So just like with games, that can happen here. But let's say this. Let's say Starfield comes out, and you're right, people aren't going to sell their PS5s. Innate, what's up, dude? They're not going to sell their PS5s, right? It's not something that they're going to, like, jump ship on, but it is something that gets you in their home, right? Like, if the goal is Game Pass and the goal is cloud, then you have to get your crap in their home. RP, I got 300 hours in ACV. So RP, that means you're like halfway through the initial first like section, right? Like, I put 60 hours in that stupid game and never completed my first homestead. Like, it was, and then I put it down because it was just too much. So it's kind of like he needs to go and watch Field of Dreams and like really put that, like, just get that inspiration. Like, if we build it, they will come. Like, if we stop trying to be like the New York Yankees and start playing Moneyball like the Oakland A's. Like, and if nobody's ever seen that movie, Moneyball is freaking awesome. Boo. And ACV was never. I'm not gonna hit on AC. Y'all gonna get me started. I freaking loved the Assassin's Creed series until they bastardized it. Better version. Okay, and let's continue. Spencer stressed again, and hey, for those who are just joining, we are reading the GamesIndustry.biz article highlighting the damning section of the interview. I'm going to read another article after this with some of the highlights and high points of the interview, things that I think that people could be getting excited about. I like the last 3. Dude, Origins was the only good one out of the last 3. Odyssey was terrible. If you want an Odyssey-style game, go play Immortal Phoenix Rising. Much better journey into the Greek mythos for Ubisoft. And then Valhalla was bloated. Fireside chat with Thrifty? Right. Okay. But I know some people want to hold us up as being a better green version of what the blue guys do. And I'm going to say there's not a win for Xbox in saying in the wake of somebody else and staying in the wake of somebody else. We have to go off and do our own thing with Game Pass, with the stuff we do with xCloud and the way we build our games. Once again, he's trying. This is one of the few times where I feel like he's deflecting a bit, because he's basically saying, "Hey guys, we know y'all want us to be better than the blue guys, and there's just no way of us doing that as long as we're in this market. But let me tell you, we're going to focus on Game Pass and xCloud and the way we build our games. Would you please stop?" Like, that is such bullcrap. Like, listen, this doesn't work in any industry, and I'm getting my thoughts a little jumbled up right now because I have so many different analogies flowing through my head right now where this doesn't work. So I'm originally from Texas, and we have what's known as Texas Dairy Queens in Texas. Anybody else in the country that has Dairy Queens will not have the same menu items as the Dairy Queens that are found in Texas. But what's interesting is the Sonic in Texas will actually try to mimic almost every single new burger that comes out of Burger King. Or not Burger King, sorry. Of Dairy Queen. I got my royalties mixed up. So Sonic does that because Dairy Queen is so popular that they try to piggyback off of that. And listen, in business, there is not a freaking thing wrong with looking at what another company does and going, "Hey, that's working. We should try that." Like, there's absolutely nothing with looking at the market leader and going, "We should do that." Great example. Look at Apple versus Samsung in the cell phone market. Samsung still isn't market leader from what I understand. But Samsung came into the game and said, "We kind of like what you're doing over there." Oh, we have 10 people watching. That is fantastic. We are now tied for my last stream. So if we can have another one come in here, we will actually be sitting at well, okay, now we have 8. I'll stop talking about that. Fine, jerks. No. Oh God, where was I? Oh, Samsung. Yeah. So now with Samsung, they came in and said, "Oh, look at what Apple's doing. Hey, we could do that. We could kind of have that same strategy. And you know what we'll do? We will build a better operating system." You know, people on the Samsung side say that Android is a better operating system. They're full of crap, but that's what they say. And they built this base, and now it's like, I think it's like 60% Apple and 40% Samsung. Like, that's insane. And they're not doing anything different. All they did was ride the coattails of Apple, and now they're starting to go their own way over the last couple cell phone generations, which is like every year. But you know what I mean? Like, it's that thing. Oh, RP, you're okay. Well, you're in my chat. You shared this out. I appreciate it. You can stay. I can be bought. I am just like a Square Enix exclusive video game. I can be bought like nobody's business. Like, let's just make that clear. If you want to call us exclusive, you can purchase me. I'm fine. No, I'm just... Oh, heck. All right. But yeah, so in no other line of industry does this actually work. In no other line can you go in and go, "Hey, these guys are the market leader. I don't want to do anything they're doing, but I want to be in that space." That doesn't work. Even when people come out with new inventions. Heck, there's a new energy drink on the market every freaking month. And you know what they do? They take 10 other energy drinks and go, "Okay, how can we make ours better? We're still going to do the 16-ounce cans. We're still going to have all the colorful stuff like they did because that's really catchy and people like that. But what can set us apart? Hey, let's make a different formula. Let's make a little bit different here. But the core is still the same. You're still giving me the caffeine, the vitamins, and all that. Your delivery is a bit different. And that is fine. But when you want to sit there and say, hey, we just can't compete in this space, I think you're a freaking idiot and you have no idea how to run a company. Like, we don't want to just be in their shadow. Well, too freaking bad you are. Like, why don't you take some of the things that they're doing and see if they work for y'all? I don't know. Make great games consistently. Like, make great games consistently. It's not hard. And I promise you, all of these outlets that doom and gloom, heck, I did it tonight on my title, right? I did it tonight on my title. Doom and gloom for Xbox. Xbox is dead. Like, you're giving off this energy when you say, hey, we want to be in this market, but we just know we're not, so we got to shift focus. So you're telling me that consoles don't matter because that's the market. That's the market you're addressing. You're talking about the blue guy. The blue guy is a console market. And it's amazing to me that somebody with the initials PS is so stupid when it comes to gaming. Like, you figured that would help him out just a little bit. Like, it's in your initials, dude. Like, help yourself here. You gave an answer that was so off base with what needs to happen that it's insane. Okay, so let's keep going. Because, they can't do great games. Starfield's not going to help. And we have to go off and do our own thing because we don't want to be in the blue guy's shadow. Okay. And then Spencer also addressed the recent release of Arcane's Redfall, one of the higher profile first-party Xbox releases in recent memory. If this game would have been on PlayStation, it wouldn't have even tracked at all. Like, I want you to understand how big the fallout is, and the fallout is huge because this is all they have. They would not be putting so much on what looks like an overachieving AA title if they had more things. Or if they had games coming out like quicker, right? Like, so we could have a bad Forspoken, right? But then we also get a great Hogwarts Legacy. And then the AAA, third party market keeps us busy, right? Well, then we have a little bit of a lull, but then Square Enix comes in and drops, Final Fantasy Collection on us, which for a lot of PlayStation owners, that's going to keep them busy. Well, then you're going to have Final Fantasy. If Final Fantasy bombs, that's going to suck a lot. But we got Spider-Man right after. Like, we never stay on one game topic for too long because we have several coming out. We get all the best AAA exclusives from third-party devs. We get the timed exclusives. We get the first-party PlayStation exclusives. So we're always being fed. They don't know what that's like over there. So Redfall got so much weight put on it. I actually feel terrible for Arcane Austin, and I feel a little bit bad for Xbox, but not really, because this is a management problem. This is a Phase 2 outlook coming real soon. Yeah, actually, for both. The problem is, for Xbox, Phase 2 looks just like Phase 1, minus Redfall and Pentiment, I think? Were those the only two that they released off of their first initial slate? I think those were the only two that have been released. Well, no, there was one more. What was that really crappy horror one that, some people said they liked, but they were really lying? Dang, if Jez was in here, he'd know off the top of his head. What's up, Nick? So, it's unfair to put that much pressure on Redfall. Scorn, thank you. No, I've actually been started for, God, I don't know, about an hour. And don't let the irony pass you by that we're on the start screen of Doom Eternal, okay? I just put that up there just for funsies. I almost called it Red Fail, and I didn't mean to, Nick. I really didn't. It's... Sometimes I get lost in the puffing out my chest. I really do. But this is not a time to do that. I'm not going to kick Xbox while they're down. I want them to do better. I feel bad for Xbox gamers right now. I feel bad for the developers at Xbox because they're pushing out stuff because they're being told to when knowing it's not ready. And for Phil Spencer to sit there and say, we're working on our 60 frames per second map or whatever the heck he said about it, and then telling us that 3 months wouldn't have really helped, you're a freaking idiot. 3 months would have been a great delay. And then you could have honestly delayed Starfield another 2 months. Because if Starfield, this is the fallout of this game and of not being consistent. They need a title that comes out and completely shuts the door on Xbox can't create high quality AAA titles. And the problem is that was supposed to be Redfall. And it wasn't. And then the other problem is now Starfield. The expectations for Starfield, whether it's fair or not, are so high, it's insane. That has to be the biggest downfall of this whole Redfall debacle. Hang on, guys. I'm letting my dog outside. Well, I'm not. My wife is because she's awesome. But y'all just heard the screen door open. So it sucks because now Starfield has to come out as a mega freaking banger. It can't be just okay on console. It can't be, oh, hey, you get 60 frames per second locked on a PC, but on consoles we went ahead and did 4K 30 because that's just what we had to do to make it work. Blah, blah. It can't have that. It has to be 60 FPS, and it has to be quality, which absolutely sucks because you're relying on Bethesda to make you a smooth running game on a day one release. Like, that's unfair to that studio. But they have nobody to blame but themselves. Yeah, I mean, so RP, you make a good point. Dev Direct showed Redfall on PS5. Huh. It didn't look half bad. I still wouldn't have played it because I hate the art design in that game. It looks like they tried to make one of those. It looked like the old... oh shoot, nobody's gonna remember this, but like the X-Men Academy cartoon, it was when they were like all in college or high school, I think, and it was like it ran for like a season or two, and that's what it was, and it was that art design, the really like cut cheekbones and the square chins, like that's that art design, and that's just not my thing, but. It's, let's continue. He acknowledged technical issues with the game, that's mildly, and a critical response that had Metacritic averages double digits beneath Microsoft's expectations from its mock reviewers. Listen, next time you send my ass an Xbox Series X and give me Redfall, and I guarantee you I will review your game for you. If Xbox listens to this, I will help you out. I have been gaming for 30 years. I got you. Like, I mean, there's so many people who would take up that mantle and say, hey, listen, you send me the console, you send me the game, I'll let you know what I think, but you're not going to influence my freaking decision. But, like, how do people touch this unless they all played it on PC? Because from what I've heard, it runs okay on PC. Like, it's still buggy, it's still glitchy, and it still has some crashes, but it runs okay. But, like, the Metacritic averages were double digits beneath Microsoft's expectations. So, let's go there real quick. Now, granted, I don't have the cool stuff like everybody else does. Once again, this is directly live from the PS5, right? This is just me. So let's go to Metacritic real quick and see what it says now, because I think when I looked it up the other day it was a 62, but that was day of release. Let's see how bad we've gotten. Oh, it's still top 3 on their editor's picks. That's funny. Okay, so now it's a 58. So let's take, double digits, okay? So in corporate speak, that's probably somewhere 15 to 10, okay? Because in corporate world, if it's 20, that puts you up to an 80, and you're like, man, this thing registered as an 80 with our reviewers. So, I mean, if you're just saying double digits, you could really stretch that to be just 10, right? We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say 15. So right now it's sitting at a 58 with 56 reviewers on Metacritic. That's not good. That's still a... Oh, I'm sorry. No. That'd be good because that'd be a 73. 73 is respectable. Listen, like I said earlier, there's many fun games that I have played that are 70s. There's many fun games and good games that I've played that I thought got the short end of the stick and didn't break 80. So, like, not bad. But it scored a 58. Now, if it was higher than that and he was thinking it was going to be an 80, wow, they was way off. But let's continue. People want to do the blue, blah, 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 mock reviews. Okay, he pointed to misleading marketing efforts as a problem. He said, I'll even go back to the Redfall videos on IGN showing the videos of the game running at 60 on PC. At the point knowing that the game was going to be around 30 frames per second at console launch. Around 30. Yeah, so here's the other fun fact. If you're going to release a game at 30 frames per second, you better be dang well sure it can run at a locked 30 frames per second. If not, you're not Nintendo, you don't have an excuse, and you will catch backlash. And this is what frustrates me sometimes, even on my PS5, okay? Because they are not immune to this bullcrap. I paid for a next-gen console that sometimes on certain games cannot hit 30 frames per second at a locked pace. That's a problem. I know that we're here and I'm discussing Xbox a bit, but I also know that I'm not just going to negate the fact that PlayStation sometimes does the same stupid stuff, and that ends up being a very big frustration for me. Like, if the game's only going to be able to do 30, that son of a gun should be locked. So, Spencer continued, like we have to be transparent about what we're showing. That what we're showing is representative of what our console customer, our most committed customer to our brand, financially committed, what they're going to see, what they're going to play, and our transparency has to be better. Phil, you can call it transparency. You got to tell the truth, my guy. Like, it's not even transparency at this point. It's you need to tell the truth. It took people watching that IGN video 3, 4, 5 times before they saw the Steam achievement pop up and go, oh, this is PC. Oh, crap. The game is going to come out broken. Like, everything about this launch led us to know it was a broken game. Reviewers couldn't touch it. They couldn't release their review. People were going out to these events having to come back and lie. The footage was from a PC. Like, all of this stuff points to, hey, this game's going to be a bit janky. Like, it's going to be rough, folks. Strap in. Or strap on if you're Satya to Phil right now. Let's go. Our transparency has to be better. Just tell the truth, my guy. Y'all tried to hoodwink a lot of people, and that's not okay. And I'm not pointing at anybody but myself. At some point, I'll have enough knocks against me that it's somebody else here. But I think it's transparency, honesty, in what we're building, what our aspiration for the game, what it's going to look like, what the features are, and it drives me crazy when we have self-inflicted wounds of putting things out there and communication that's confusing or misleading about what the actual end product is going to be. Yeah. Let's talk about that. How about those cutscenes in Redfall, folks? How about those? Those look great, don't they? Those little comic book style cutscenes where you're just missing a page flip from being in an actual comic book. Like, that's great, and I've played games like that. As a matter of fact, Scarlet Nexus is one that does that kind of stuff. But the thing is it's not all they do, and the stuff from the trailers was actually in the dang game. Redfall, not the same. Everything about this was, hey, we lied, and we need to be honest from now. Like, why start now, dude? Just keep lying. Keep lying. Why start now? Misleading, yeah. Spencer also suggested Microsoft might be more hands-on with games in the future when it acquires them or their studios mid-development. Yeah, we're not going to blame anybody, right? But, yeah, if we would have been more hands-on, Arcane wouldn't have let this come out. Like, shut up. Like, this is not on Arcane. I don't believe this is on Arcane. And all that storm that came up from that Arcane developer, I'm not going to mention a name. That's not what I want to do here. I have the screenshots, and I am actually going to read them real quick. But like I said, I'm not going to give any of the naming. I did not anticipate my own peeps, friends, or colleagues openly mocking. Colleagues. Those are people you work with or for. Colleagues. Openly mocking and being gleeful at a difficult launch. Delighting in the failure of others, no matter how you feel towards a company, seems mean-spirited. I feel sad, confused, and disappointed. I try to keep things positive, I really do, but I am a human, I have feelings. Seeing people I looked up to saying things like they deserved this, now their resumes are tainted. What effing idiots. Truthfully, been the only thing that to bother me. Personally, I'd love. Here's the part that got deleted, guys. I took screenshots of this at like, let's see, when was this photo taken? Hang on. Let me pull up that stupid thing that Apple devices can do. I was up late on Friday, and I took this thing at 1:13 in the morning, my time. It says, personally, I'd love nothing more than to give full transparency. There's that word. But at that point, I feel like it would be interpreted as excuses. They're right. Anyways, thank you for letting me be momentarily vulnerable before I'm whisked away by the PR teams for talking. Guys, this is a developer that is angry. This is a developer that's mad. This is a developer that is having colleagues, forget the friends, forget the people on the internet, you're having colleagues say stuff about this, people who you looked up to. Huh. Okay. So we have some dissension. That's what that sounds like. And then the part that got deleted was about her being transparent, which is what Phil himself the day before, or that morning, had said he wanted more of. This all stems back to management. This all stems back to people in management not knowing how to manage. We need to improve on, back to the article, we need to improve on engaging in games that are midway through production when they become a part of Xbox. I do think there's a different expectation for a game and even a team when you've been third party and all of a sudden you become first party. No. The expectation is still to deliver a competent game. I don't care if you're one person making chained echoes or a team of 300 making Horizon Forbidden West. The quality is always the main goal. Let's deliver a great game. That's the goal. That's the goal. Like, the expectation doesn't change. And to say that, once again, tells me you're disconnected from gaming. You're disconnected from what makes a good game. You had your head so far up Vampire Survivor that you can't tell what a AAA title looks like anymore. Like, I don't understand this. I think that we need to improve on engage. Okay, I just read that. Spencer added, we didn't do a good job engaging with Arcane Austin to help them understand what it meant to be a part of Xbox and a part of first party, and use some of our internal resources to help them move along that journey even faster. Bull crap. You're not going to tell me that the team that made Prey made this game, and that they didn't know the expectation. Bull. That is a big bid. If I was Arcane Austin, I would take that small studio of about 15, 20 people, and I would bounce right now. I would get out. They've been paid for their work, and I would leave. Because what this tells me is that you can get thrown under the bus in the most politest, the nicest, the most Philness way possible, because his job is on the line also. And so it's very, very frustrating. And that's the end of that section. I'm going to switch to a different article now, because I do want to focus on... right? I mean, I would be gone. It wouldn't even be a question. It'd be like, oh, listen, fun story. Been knocking on Sony's door, absolutely. And we're going to get into Sony too, because they pissed me off this week also. But once again, after time, I've kind of cooled down. But I've worked for a manager like this before. It was at a restaurant, and I was his assistant. And man, I'm telling you, I got in trouble for something that he did, and he rolled me under the bus, and I left. I'm not that guy. I'm not the one. Gonna walk Dogsby back in a few. Aw, you're walking your Xboxes? That's cute. Make sure they get some kind of exercise. Sony's been dog walking them for this entire generation and last generation. Ooh, burn. Yeah, no. When I actually unlock emojis, I'm gonna put a burn fire emoji in there somewhere. I might try to get the one with the dog and the burning building. You could go back to the 80s and name them NXS. Nick, no, you do not. This is actually a great time for me to answer some chat questions. You do not need to play any of the other Final Fantasies. So with the exception of Final Fantasy X-2 and Final Fantasy 13-2 and Lightning Returns, you don't need to play any other game in the series to understand the current one that's out. They have always done that. They are their own individual stories. Now, what's cool is just like if you were going to watch a Star Wars film, right? You don't necessarily need, or not a Star Wars film, but let's say you're going to watch one of the Star Wars shows on Disney, right? You have callbacks that they'll do in the series or from other entities and movies and properties within that series that they'll kind of slide in, little set pieces that you pick up as a fan of the series, but you don't need to. Like in Final Fantasy VIII, there is a store in there's a shop, I think, in one of the cities you go to that like sells or has on display Cloud Sword from Final Fantasy VII. And so, ooh, nice, Tifa. Don John Sean, love the freaking profile pic. Tifa is by far, yeah, Easter eggs. That's right. Yeah, it's just basically Easter eggs. Just Easter eggs in, and it's really cool. It's like, so for me, I've played 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to 13, Lightning Returns, 15, 7 Remake. And so, like, I love to catch those. I've also played Dirge of Cerberus, and then Crisis Core. But, like, so I catch some of those things. And it's just really fun. But, no, you don't have to. And I would say if you don't like turn-based, don't play anything pre-Final Fantasy 15. Because everything before that was turn-based, and everything after that has been more action-focused. Now, Final Fantasy 16 is going to be just action. There's no turn-based anything from what I understand, which, as one of the old Final Fantasy heads, it worries me. But anyways, I've discussed that ad nauseum at this point, because I really need Final Fantasy to continue. That's one of those franchises that if it ended, that would really suck for me in my gaming experience, right? I know everybody has franchises like that. Some of y'all do games as a service, which bless your little souls. And those titles, if they end, that's like a part of your gaming hobby. And so, anyways, I got into turn-based after I played Marvel Midnight Suns. I have not played that yet. Waiting for it to go on a massive sale, because it looks interesting, but it's also a card game and it's also a strategy RPG. So, anyways, there's a lot of stuff going against that game for me. But because it's Marvel, I do kind of want to play it. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the good news, because yes, there is some. They got to talking about all of the in another part of the interview, and this part of the interview I actually got from VG Charts, and it's about the showcase. So let's go ahead and dive into that real quick. The tagline of it is, Phil Spencer admits Xbox didn't deliver on 2022 showcase. I love these headings. Like, anybody who games at all knows these headings, and it's just funny. It's like, no kidding. You must be Sherlock Holmes. Way to go. Microsoft at the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase in June 2022 had set a plan of showcasing games that would launch over the following 12 months. Nice. Nice. Whew, Lord help. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, in an interview on the Kinda Funny Xcast, nothing about that Xcast was kind of funny, admitted that they did not deliver on its 12 months plan. Once again, no kidding. Last year, during the showcase, you had the 12-month plan, said Paris Lilly. You didn't necessarily deliver on all the games. Spencer responded, no, we didn't deliver. There's no necessarily. We didn't deliver. Lilly provided a list of games that were announced years ago that we don't know much about, including Avowed, Perfect Dark, Everwild, Fable, State of Decay, and Contraband. And then here is the interesting part. Hang on, something's going on in chat. What we got? Try FF7 Pixel 4 or 6 if you are okay with turn. Dude, so listen, my birthday is coming up May 20th, and I am so hoping, I doubt it will be, but I'm so hoping that that's what I'm getting. I hope I get that entire collection. But I also don't like the fact that it's $75. I know it's worth it, and I'd love to go back and play those games with all the quality of life improvements. I really, really would. Yes, you can, Nick. They just told me my birthday's May 20th. And Nick, you can play it on the PS5. Square Enix just released games 1 through 6 on a collection on the PS5. What's up, Salty? My guy. Yes, you can buy them separately. Yeah, dude, but separately? Doesn't it come out to like $95 or $105 or something? Oh, heck yeah, the 21st. Well, man, happy early birthday if I forget. Hey guys, give some love to Salty. I know most of y'all are already on his channel. Salty's my dude. That guy is gold, man. Salt House. That's what I should have named my news show. The Salt House News Show. Just Salt House Gaming News. No. Um, just just steal Jez and steal Salty's tag. Just Salt House. Oh man. Okay, so let's continue here. Salty is your boss, Thrifty. No, him being my boss would mean I got paid, and I don't get paid, so nope. Okay, so let's see what Phil Spencer says about the showcase. I'm not going to try to oversell showcase here. First of all, that's weird. What is up, Retro? But if I was on the other side watching this, it's like, hey, after Redfall, I'm going to put my hands on the controller, and that's what it's going to take to prove it to me. Okay, I'm not going to oversell the showcase. Guys, he's telling you without telling you that something is not right about the showcase. Like, do you catch that? He is telling you without telling you that something is not right about the showcase. Like, I hate to break it to you, but when somebody says, hey, I don't want to oversell it to you, that is them telling you, hey, listen, get yourself in check. Remember last year, I think we had that indie state of play, and everyone was like, man, we're going to see these new games. We're probably going to get this. We're going to get that. And, like, thankfully, some of the leakers came out and said, whoa, 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 whoa. Settle down your expectations. That's not what this is for. Temper the expectations. Right. Temper those expectations. Got some big names in chat tonight. Dude, I freaking love it. I can't believe these guys have all showed up. Like, this was impromptu. This wasn't my normal schedule. I was going to do this on Thursday when Salty had to take off for a personal matter. And then the stuff in my life happened, and I just wasn't able to. But I'm glad I got to sit on this for a little bit, because I really got to I got to get a different perspective on this part. Because he is literally sitting here saying, we don't want to oversell the Xbox games showcase, okay? And Starfield Direct. He doesn't want to oversell either of them. Like, hear that. He doesn't want to oversell any of them. So listen, guys, temper those expectations. It's going to be okay. Just wait until, right? Just wait until. Like, it's perfect. So, which will be live streamed on June 11th. Shameless plug for that. That's fine. He is enthusiastic about it still. But that's not what the showcase is. But that's not what the showcase is. So I'm very enthusiastic about showcase. I really wish he would stop not using the word "the," because that bothers me. It shows that you're a pretentious douchebag, and it bothers me. I'm going to showcase, ma. Like, God. Like, I understand that in some parts of the world they say, like, when you go off to college, you're going to university. I get it. Like, that's fine. My guy, you live in America, you're from America. Come on, my dude. You were born here, and you're white as the day is long. Stop acting like a pretentious jackleg. We're going to go to showcase. No, shut up. Anyways, I will try to correct his grammar as I go. I'm not going to try to oversell the showcase here. But that's not what the showcase is. So I'm very enthusiastic about the showcase, Spencer said. We're going to announce some things that people haven't seen, some new games. We're going to give updates on some things that were on your list. So, some things out of Avowed, Perfect Dark, Everwild, Fable, State of Decay 3, and Contraband. Out of all of those, I think what he means, we're going to get an update on Avowed, we're going to get an update on Contraband, and we're going to get an update on State of Decay 3 because Perfect Dark is in development hell, so is Fable, and Everwild I think is too far off to show anything more than the cinematic that they showed before. But that's just my speculation. Take that with a massive, massive grain of salt. He added, the other things that gets me really excited is when I look forward to the next quarters, which has always been my focus. Oh, duh. No kidding. The next quarter. The entire Xbox community right now is only focused on the next quarter. They've had to. It's like telling my kid when he asked for ice cream, no son, wait till tomorrow. He asked for ice cream tomorrow. No son, wait till tomorrow. It's the worst case of edging you can do to a gamer is to say, hey, Dan, just wait till next quarter. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Wait until E3. I don't have a cool soundboard, but you get the idea. It's the biggest. It's so easy for him to say, I've always been looking forward to the next quarter because the next quarter is what's going to give him the next game or the next delay. How do we get a big game out every quarter at quality? There's that quality. I thought they wanted value. Now they want quality. That things are lining up finally after some of the shutdowns through COVID. I'm tired of talking about that, but I can now see that we've got games coming every quarter that I think will surprise and delight our customers. We still have to deliver on the creative. We still have to deliver on the technical. Not every game we ship is for everybody, and we know that. I'm not trying to build one game to rule them all. Okay, so this actually is the part where I'm like, okay, maybe Xbox has a little bit of hope. Oh, you made me ink. That's hilarious. I just read that live. That will be forever on YouTube. Okay. Sorry, I have children, so they've seen that movie numerous times. Um, Games coming out every quarter, and they have a game lined up at least at this point for every quarter. What that means is that at least a new first party game is going to come out every quarter. If that's true, and they're finally starting to get all of the stuff lined out, then this could be the turnaround for Xbox. The problem is that if any of those games come out broken, like could you imagine right now, Starfield comes out and it is a beautiful display. It is wonderful, and somehow they managed to cram 60 frames per second out of the Series potato, and everybody's happy, and it's getting 90s and 95s, and people are loving it, and you got folks who own PS5s, who mainline PS5, who are turning on their Xbox for the first time since they bought the stupid thing, and they're like, hey, I'm in here. Like, imagine that, and then imagine Avowed comes out broken, or Hellblade 2 comes out broken. Like, they have to hit on the next 3 games. I don't think they're going to survive another 2 quarters, which would be, hang on, let's see how this works. Let's see, they're March, April, May, June, July, August, September. And then add one more. They're not going to survive the next 3 quarters if Starfield comes out as a flop. Or if it comes out broken. At least on the console side. Because I know that y'all little PC wizards out there, y'all can fix anything and make it great. Like, Dead by 24. What? Dead by 24. Hang on. Who's Dead by 24? Oh, Dead by 2024. Forza better. Listen, Playground is the only studio that can make good games. Forza will be just fine. Okay? Like, Forza's gonna be good. Yeah, I got you, RP. I got you. It takes me a minute. I have partaken in some extracurriculars, and I'm trying to keep my thoughts wonderfully straight right now. Hey, we got a new subscriber tonight. Thank you. I'm going to screw up your name, and I do not want to. I'm just going to call you Naga, if that's cool. If you're still in chat, say something. That'd be cool. But yeah, heck yeah. That means I'm 2 away from my next goal. Guys, we have been crushing that goal, by the way. And I was not expecting this fast of growth. The past 2 months, I have grown amazingly, and that's because of a lot of y'all, a lot of folks who come to my streams and hang out with me and talk and all of that. So, anyways, that's the part of this that I think could actually be exciting. Things are finally lining up after some of the slowdown through COVID. Like, that's awesome, right? Like, that should give Xbox players some hope, right? It really should. But the problem is, and here's what people aren't understanding, because I see a lot, actually, no, I don't. Let me rephrase that. I see 3 people on Twitter constantly defending Xbox. Like, it's insane. And what they keep pointing to is, guys, we're going to get a new game every quarter. We're going to get a new game every quarter. Phil Spencer said it himself. Phil Spencer said it. Yeah, dude, we've been hearing that for 2.5 years. Like, what? Xbox people are getting tired of it. So on one end, I'm like, man, this could be cool. This could be awesome, because Phil Spencer has to know with saying that if he doesn't deliver that, he has just hung himself. Like, he's done. And so we have a double-edged sword here, because he's kind of put himself on the hook now for a new game every quarter, and he's reiterated that. So let's talk about this. We're not going to have one game to rule them all. Sure, nobody really does. I mean, they don't, because they don't have Call of Duty. But like first-person shooters, Call of Duty is the one game that kind of rules them all. Japanese RPG, AAA RPG, you have Final Fantasy and Persona. Then you have, your more indie RPGs, not indie, but less known RPGs. You have your Ease series, your Trails series, and there's one other one that I can't even think of right now. But like, those are the main players in that one. So I mean, I understand what he's saying. He's not looking to have the best of the best of the best in any specific genre necessarily, which that's fine. Build good games. But, and here's what he says next, but we have to do it at quality. We have to do it on time, and we have to show people what they're actually going to see. We have to show gameplay, and I think I'm kind of beyond that. We have to put great games in the hands of our players. There's nothing else. Like, guys, he is saying all the right things in that one little spot. We need it quality. We need it on time. We need to show people actual gameplay. And he's frustrated. He's like, I'm so beyond that. Like, I cannot believe that all we've been able to show you. Don't take my word for it. Yeah, no doubt. Like, he's like, we're so far beyond what I'm just showing you, not showing you gameplay, that I'm so annoyed by it. We have to put great games in the hands of our players. There's nothing else. And so, like, you have this showcase coming up, and I think there's 2 pivotal dates for the Xbox. One is June 11th. Okay? June 11th of this year is one of the pivotal dates. The other one is September 6th, which is the day Starfield releases. And no, I don't jockey ride Xbox. I didn't know that it was releasing September 6th. I actually just Googled it. June 11th and September 6th are the 2 biggest days for Xbox, and they will make or break the Xbox this year. If September 6th comes and one, Starfield doesn't release, or Starfield releases broken on console, it's done. June 11th, if they come out and build all this hype and do all that, and then 4 months later those games start getting delayed, done. And I hate that for them. I hate it. And here's why I hate it. Because right now, PlayStation has delayed and delayed and delayed their showcase to give their development teams more time to get stuff done and polished and set up. And hopefully we get one within the next few months. I for dang certain am not speculating on that stupid thing. That showcase has become a walking meme when it when you start talking about when PlayStation's doing a showcase. Like, it's almost to the point where I want to start like a betting pool and be like, hey, let's go ahead and let's just do this. Let's start a betting pool. Like, we'll have months picked out for the rest of the calendar year, and everybody can put money in on what month they think the showcase will be. We can just go and do that. We can use our own little quote unquote sources and stuff. It'd be great. It'd be fantastic. And so like we could do that because PlayStation Showcase could happen this month. Hell, it could be tomorrow. We don't know. PlayStation throws everybody off and drops a surprise showcase. Come join us. Like, who knows? But the reason why Sony is able to delay it and delay it and delay it and delay it and not give us a freaking showcase like I want is because we trust them. Right? Like, I trust that even though they haven't showed them to me or given me release dates for them, I know we got some bangers coming in the pipeline. I don't know what they are, but Sony has built up enough goodwill over the past, well, the PS5 generation at minimum, and then all of the PS4 generation, that I know that I have good games coming. I may not know what they are, but I know I got some coming. With Xbox, they don't have that luxury. They don't have that luxury to be able to sit here and announce games again and then delay games again and then announce games again and then delay games again. That's not going to fly. Like, the worst thing that could happen for the end of the Starfield announcement is if, like, a new date pops up. Like, say that, they did catch wind that Spider-Man definitely is releasing in September. And they don't want to compete against Spider-Man. And so they're like, you know what? We need a little bit more time. That'd be great. Let's kick it out to November. Worst thing that they could do. So, once again, the two most important dates are September 6th for the Starfield release. Newtonian, what's up, man? Heck yeah. And then the June 11th for the showcase. I am still holding out a bit of hope. And here's the hope that I mean, right? Here's what I mean by hope. I don't own an Xbox. I've never owned an Xbox. The closest I ever did anything with Xbox was the $1 1-month membership I had so I could try to play Final Fantasy 13 on my cell phone. It's not available, so I tried to play Fable, and it didn't work either. It just sucked. I made it like 2 hours in and I was done. I didn't like the art direction, didn't like the style. It wasn't my thing. So, like, that's my experience with Xbox. But I am a gamer, okay? I have gamed on Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, 64, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, and now a PS5. That is 9 different systems that I have owned and played on in 30 years. This is something that is very near and dear to me. And watching other gamers get jerked around so hard and say, thank you, sir, may I have another? It's infuriating. It's frustrating to see this happen. It's bothersome. And so I like to hold out hope. I like to look on the bright side of things. I like that, hey, we might be getting a pretty banger lineup and some dang good competition for Sony if this comes true and over the next 6 quarters they release 6 AAA games. Holy cow. Like, because that means Avowed, Hellblade, Contraband 2, or Contraband 3, or whatever the heck it is. The new Forza, Starfield. Like, all of these, right? That's only 5, and I can't remember the 6th one. I have the articles shut down right now. That second article was from VG Charts, by the way. Like to keep giving the people who I'm actually reading their shout-outs, because I think that's important in this day and age. I don't like to just say sources. So, like, it's needed. It's something that I want them to do well on. And I want this to be Xbox's PS3 moment where halfway through the life cycle, just they start releasing heavy hitter after heavy hitter after heavy hitter after heavy hitter. Right? Like, that's what they need to do. And then I guarantee you, we may not see a dip in PlayStation's ownerships, like in PlayStation sales, but what we will see, hey man, you can play Ape Escape right now with PlayStation Premium. It is part of the PS1 collection. Ta-da. 100,000 gamer score down the drain. Right, like, and, you know, I'm not a big trophy hunter. I'm just not. If I earn them, I earn them. I have one platinum trophy, and it's God of War Ragnarok. And that's because I was not going to be denied that daggum arena. Like, I just wasn't. Yeah, Nick, you can. It's Ape. I think they have Ape Escape 1 and 2. Yes, it is at 60 frames. Good call. I just bought and played a lot of games. Right, like, I have 2,700 total trophies, I think, which is not a lot. But, like, it's because I don't care about shooting somebody in the head 50 times. I just don't. But, like, I want Xbox gamers to be fed. I want them to be fed well. I want to watch how PlayStation's numbers can climb and climb and climb and climb, and PlayStation owners buy an Xbox to play some of these other games. I think that would be the best thing for the market. I really do. Heck, have both systems. I don't care what you do with your money. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my money. I'm not going to buy 2 systems. I've honestly given up on Xbox. Man, I get that, and I do. And there's a lot of people who have already, and I understand it. Like, you've gotten punched in the teeth for 10 years? 13? The Xbox One generation was 7 years plus 30. Yeah, 10 years. Like, you've been punched in the teeth for a long time if you're an Xbox fan. Too long, right. But, like, I'm still holding out hope that this will be the PS3 moment for the Xbox consoles. And if not, we won't see an Xbox Series Y or W or QA56 or whatever the heck their next one's going to be called. The Xbox Rectangle, I don't know. But GT7 is a good sim racer. Yeah, I know. There's people who keep telling me that. As a matter of fact, one of the guys who was telling me that is... I'm trying to get it lined up. I have some really good guests coming up on the weekly show that I'm super excited about. I got RP Gaming coming up, and I am trying to effort a couple others. One of them looks like they'll be joining this week, and then the other one I'm still trying to get on the line, but I'm working real hard to get this thing up. And anyways, let's continue with the next thing I wanted to talk about. So Pixelopus. Sony closed a studio that makes passion projects, which are fine. And people are up in arms on the Xbox side. No surprise there. And about half of the community is up in arms on the PlayStation side. Me personally, I've never... I have Concrete Genie because it was a Plus title, but I've never really... I didn't enjoy it much. It just wasn't my style of game. So I stopped playing it. And I then found out that they were working on another game for like 3 years. So here's the deal. I don't have a lot to say about this. I wanted to bring it up. It does kind of suck that PlayStation had to close the studio, especially after buying another one. Like, that's... You're expanding some, you're closing others. What that sounds like to me isn't just like a mass layoff like, Microsoft just did. Microsoft company, corporate as a whole, just laid off 10,000 people. It doesn't sound like it was that. It sounds like it literally was time for a performance review, and somebody walked in and said, hey, it's just not there, guys. And yeah, it sounds like that's what happened, but I want to really wait until we get more information to really do a dive into like what's going on there. I will also, this is just a bonus story, and then I'm gonna probably respond more to chat and see what's going on in chat. But here's the next story that I want to kind of go over. And it's a rumor right now. It was I found it from Zubitech today on Twitter, which, Twitter is the best place to go for lies, rumors, and over-exaggerations. And so let's see what this one is. All right, let me pull it up real quick. Where is it? My God, the people in our group talk too much. Here we go. So Zubitech said this: former Electronic Arts, DICE, and Wargaming director Sean Decker joins PlayStation as head of live services for PlayStation Studios. Oh dear God. So here's the deal. I have tried to look this up and find other articles that point to this, and everything pulls up either Reddit, which is a worse cesspool than Twitter, and it pulls up Zubitech's post. So I don't know if this is rumor. I don't know if Zubitech has some insider information. I've reached out to him to see if he's like a reporter or if something like that, because he posts a lot of stuff and a lot of it is taken as truth. So I'm guessing he's some sort of insider. But here's my thing. I'm not sure where I heard that Jaffe Retro ? Okay. So, here's the thing. I am terrified, absolutely terrified of games as a service, of live service games, of predatory practices, and we just hit 12 people in here. Thank y'all so much. Hit that like button. That when I hear that the former Electronic Arts, DICE, and Wargaming director is going to be head of live services, that scares the absolute bejesus out of me. We were talking on my show on Wednesday, and Predator... Church Keys, what's up, my brother? We were talking on Wednesday, actually, about games as a service, and we had talked about how, I kind of made up this price point of, like, I'm okay with games as a service. I won't play many of them, but if you make them $30, $29.99 entry, and then you sell your battle passes and you sell your other stuff, okay, as somebody who's played mobile games and was really big into them, here's how this works. They sucker you in. They sucker you in badly, okay? Here's how this works with live service games, okay? They give it to you for free, or they charge you really low for it, like half price of what a new game costs. And you get all of this content, all of this amazing content. It's wonderful. Look how much crap you can do. You can go into this world and it's all free, or it's $30. And then you play it. Well, As you play it, you find you really enjoy it. You like how everything's working. Newtonian man, hey, thanks for stopping by, dude. Have a good night, and yes, Monday is going to come very early. Uh, Thanks again for stopping by, dude. Um, so you're in it, you're loving it. It's this live service game. It's free or it's super cheap, and you've been playing it, and you're like, dadgummit, I got 50 hours into this game. Whew, that battle pass looks real nice now. I've done a lot of this stuff. I could get 60 different rewards right now if I just sign up for the battle pass. Boom, they got you for $25. And then you sign up for the battle pass, and they got you. You're done. It's ta-da. It's the way live service games work. They give you a hook, and then they wait for you to justify the microtransaction purchase. And then once you do, it's easier to justify the next one. You know, we found out a lot of this when we talked about Diablo Immortal, because they would give you the initial one of 99 cents, the starter kit. And then the next day when you logged in, because you spent 99 cents, they know that if they put a 1 in front of that, you'll be more likely to spend that too. Because, well, heck, I just spent $1 yesterday. Heck, that's just $2. Now they got you for $3 total. Then about a week goes by and they go, hey, you've hit level 20. Here's a $5 pack that you could get that gets you all this stuff for being level 20. And you're like, well, shoot, I haven't had to spend money in a while. They got you for $8. And in that game, heck, you can hit level 20 in a few days. That's how those games work. There is such a psychology that goes into getting people to purchase money in live service games. If you ever y'all want to find a good video on that, Asmongold does a great video on monetization and how it actually works, discussing Diablo Immortal. Really, really good. Really good video. Guys, we have 16 people in here. I appreciate every mother-loving one of you. I hope y'all stay. The whole stream has been amazing. Chat's been wonderful. We're talking about EA, ex-EA DICE and Wargaming director getting hired on at PlayStation to be in charge of their live services. And that's where we're at right now. And precursor, I hate live service games. So, here we go. I am sitting here. I'm going to get Diablo 4. I want it so bad, but it's a live service game. And it's made by Blizzard. God. When we talk about when we talk about predatory practices, Blizzard, EA, and Ubisoft are like right there. Right there. Like, oh, Nick, there's going to be a battle pass. There's an in-game structure, but it's not going to be pay to win. Oh, and it's $70. They can take my house. And that actually, I know that's hyperbole, but that right there is how they get you. That right there is how they get you. And so we have 12 live service titles coming out, and we got a dude who made his bread and butter with one of the most predatory companies out there at EA. Like, dang. Now, folks have pointed out that he worked for EA a long time ago. So maybe I don't hold that against him. But I'm telling y'all, with everything I'm reading in the tea leaves right now, and this is, like, I've put my ear to the ground, licked my finger, put it up in the air, like, I've done all the things, I'm tracking this. Everything sounds like we are about to get milked like nothing more than cows. Like, it's coming. And I am not a fan of it. I am not a fan of it at all. And this has me worried. And I hope it is a rumor. I hope it is not true. Sorry, guys. Thirsty as all get out. Anyways, I hope it's not true. Sounds like. Where's Nelson when you need him? So, so anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me ask y'all a question since chat is pretty active tonight. What are some of y'all's thoughts? Like, do y'all see, and yeah, remove the fact that most of y'all I know main the PS5. I know Retro spoke on it a little bit earlier in the chat, but do we think that the Xbox is done, or is there still hope? Do you think my take on June 11th and September 6th being the two most pivotal dates is accurate, or do you think it's just June 11th and the hype train's going to be built back up and they're going to ride off into the sunset? Dear God. I tried to take a drink and I just read what Black Storm said. Cannot wait to pay for the Redfall Battle Pass. That's wonderful. Dude, I don't know if you're serious or not, but um, that game, I guarantee you, if they had one more year of development on it, it should have been a live service title. That thing is set up as such a live service title without being live service or quality or even a title. Um, Starfield, here we go. Black Storm said, I think it is done. Starfield will be full of bugs, and that will be the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, man. I mentioned that earlier in the video, actually, or in the video. Dear God, I am so tired, guys. I mentioned that earlier in the stream where, June 11th has the potential to build that hype all the way back up. But if Starfield, here's the deal. They have this quarter with nothing, because Redfall was supposed to be there's something in this quarter, and it's not. But they have this quarter that has nothing. Next quarter will have Starfield. The next quarter will probably have, Hellblade, Avowed, Forza, whatever. Who cares? If Starfield doesn't come out as a 10 or a 9, it's done. 60 hours, it's hard. I haven't even started my 60 hours. That starts on Monday. Uh-huh. It's bad. Xbox will be a publisher in 2 years. God, I was telling my wife that. I was like, man, it's going to be so weird if they become a publisher that offers a subscription service and then, like, there's Game Pass on my PlayStation? That'd be weird. Dude, Toolman, I saw that earlier, man. Like, Church Keys, what did you say? If Nintendo could bounce back from the Wii U with the Nintendo Switch, yeah. Xbox can redeem themselves, but they gotta earn it. Not, I want to buy market leadership. How much is that gonna cost? But that's the problem. They forgot how to do that, right? Like, once again, earlier in the stream I mentioned PS3 versus the 360. It was neck and neck. Like, Xbox took the beginning of the generation and PS3 took the end of the generation, and it was neck and neck. Right? Like, I'm not misremembering that. I think the PS3 sold 88 million and the Xbox 360 sold like 70 million, 80 million, something like that. Yeah, that's right, because the Xbox One sold 50 and everybody was mocking them for selling 30 million less. Like, there has been a time where they knew how to make IP and how to make good games and not just purchase everything. It's insane. I can tell you right now how the Jets season is going to go because they tried to pull a Microsoft. They went out and bought Aaron Rodgers. $60 million. And they bought him. And I can guarantee you they might make it to the playoffs, but they're not going to be a real contender. And you know what? For Jets fans, making it to the playoffs, man, that's a loser's mentality. That's good. Retro, I mean, thank God I only do 40. People already on social media showing that they sold their Series X and bought PS5. If Starfield comes in a train wreck and Sony knocks it out of the park, it will be the last straw for many. Dude, I agree, man. I really do. But the problem with that is, you know, if the rumors are true, we're going to get Spider-Man the week of the 20th, I believe, in September. And that gives people a few weeks on Starfield. So Starfield comes out and it's buggy and all that and blah blah blah. And at that point you have two options. One, you go trade it in and buy a PS5. Two, you buy a PS5. Or three, you buy a PC. Like, none of those scenarios keep Xbox as your main. None of those keep Xbox as your main console and as your main focus. Okay, let's keep going. This is the part of the show that I love. Interacting with the people here, that makes my day. Shows that y'all are engaged and I love it. I mean, Jez is looking at PS5s and the covers right now. Has to tell you, dude, I couldn't believe that he was reporting on PlayStation News and it was positive. Like, and let's not. You mean fake Jez? Like, I'm sorry. When you said Jez, I was like, what? Jez has a PS5. What are you talking about? But then I realized you meant other bootleg Jez, right? Church Keys. Sony is only leading because of careful planning and good strategies. It's a real David versus Goliath. Sony shouldn't be winning. Microsoft. Dude, that is so true. That is so true. Like, that is an underrated comment right there. Sony is only leading because of careful planning and good strategies. David versus Goliath. Yes. Church Keys hitting me in that biblical stuff that I actually went to college for. Absolutely. It is 100% a David versus Goliath match here. And Sony just keeps putting those pebbles into that slingshot and just beating the crud out of that giant. Oh, you want to release Halo? We got Horizon. You want to release Forza? We got GT7. You want to release nothing? That's fine. We're still going to keep releasing God of War. Got it. Oh, you want Final Fantasy? No. Like, they just keep slinging it. Let's see. Black Storm said, "Oh, RP. Yes, we need Venom covers. If I wasn't so worried it would mess it up, man, I would plastic dip my PlayStation cover right now, or do that really cool like spray paint trick where they do like the water dipping. Anyways, Black Storm said it was neck and neck because PS3 had tons of features that nobody needed, and that made the console more expensive. However, Blu-ray won at the end. Yeah, somebody was talking about that earlier. I don't remember when it was. It might have been a live or another stream. Hydra Dip, that's it. It might have been another stream that I was watching, but somebody was mentioning that the Blu-ray and then the HD from Microsoft, it was to the point where people were considering like not making like Blu-rays, and like it was a whole war between both ecosystems at that point. You had Sony with the PlayStation and the Blu-ray, and you had Microsoft with the Xbox and the HD movie player. Nuts. Like, both of them were doing the exact same thing, but completely different, and it worked. And Xbox, no kidding, Xbox started doing well. Right? Xbox started doing well. Like, and then you have Phil Spencer. If y'all have been here the whole time, you've already heard all of this, but you have Phil Spencer coming out and saying some of the dumbest crap I have ever heard from anybody in any kind of business anywhere. That's not the right one. Hang on. Let me pull this back up. I don't have any cool soundboard to give y'all. I need to grab one. Y'all can hear me sing song. How about that? Actually, I'll stop sing-songing. I don't want y'all to leave. Transparency, aspirations, communication, blah, 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 blah. Where was it? Expectations for a game. We didn't do a good job. First party. Big green. Oh, wait. Here it is. Okay. Yep, here it is. But I know some people want to hold us up as being a better green version of the blue, of what the blue guys do, and I'm going to say that's not a win for Xbox and staying in the wake of somebody else. Dude, you were in their shadow in the 360 days, and you did phenomenal. You almost made HD movies a household name. Like, understand that when you were in their shadow and trying to do the same thing that they were doing, your console was booming. And then you tried to get cute. Then you tried to, we got to do our own thing. No, you don't. You don't. It's video games. You make a console, you make games. You make good games. People buy your console. It's not hard. It's not hard. I don't understand. Why do corporations complicate crap that doesn't need to be complicated? I was talking to a friend of mine the other night at our D&D group, and she works at a bank, and she's not called a bank teller. I can't remember what the heck the name of it is. But like when somebody walks in the bank, they have to come out from behind their teller station, walk over to that person, take them back to the teller station, do the whole thing, and then walk them back outside. I ain't never, not once, ever walked into my bank and wanted to be greeted with a handshake. I wanted to be greeted with a, hey, Mr. So-and-so, how are you doing? I'm good. Thank you for remembering me. That, to me, speaks more than you opening a freaking door for me. But corporations like to complicate crap. They give you these training tracks that you have to read off when you're talking to clients or whatnot. They say, hey, we want you to do this job faster, but we're going to add more crap to it. Why do they overcomplicate it? Like, you don't need all of that. You need a console that's capable and good games. Who cares if you name your console the SP7 and everything you do is just a carbon copy of frickin' PlayStation? Who cares? You did that once and it worked. Right? Like, I'm not far off on that. Let's read some chats. Sorry, I got off a little bit. 360 days, Xbox lived on second and third party deals and became number one because of it. Well, I'll be dang. I'll be dang. 360 days, Xbox lived on second and third party deals and became number one because of it. That's cute. Who did that? Who? Okay, let's go here, right? Let's do this. This is gonna be good. Lightning just struck my brain and I've had an apostrophe. If anybody can name that movie, you're now my best friend. That's awesome. If you can name that movie, you're my best friend. A lightning bolt came out from the heavens and have struck my brain, and now I've had an apostrophe. So what happened in the 360 days? Xbox made second and third party deals. What happened in the PS4? It was not Step Brothers. What happened in the PS4? Sony said, hey, we can do that. hey, we can do this. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make our own second and third party deals. And we're gonna just take your idea and live in your shadow a little bit, and then whoop your rear end. Like, it's what is that saying where flattery is the or mocking is the highest form of flattery or something like that? Like, yeah. I'm trying to build a D&D campaign right now. And what I have found out is that stealing from other people is wonderful. Like, when you're playing D&D and D and when you're trying to build a campaign, you find ideas wherever you can find them. This is no different. PlayStation looked at Xbox and said, damn, they're doing our job better than us. We got to step it up. We got to go after these third-party deals, these second-party deals. We got to invest in these studios like they are. And Sony went full bore, and Xbox said, you know what, we're fine. We're going to give you DRM. Whew, that's nice. We're going to come out with the Xbox One. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Thanks, church. I need all the help I can get. See, you're not actually, like, on the mic right now to help correct me, so everything comes out all messed up and stuff. And no, the movie was Hook. Where, Smee is talking to Captain Hook, and he has this idea, and he goes, what? I just had an apostrophe. What if you get the little rats to love you? Anyways, it's a good movie. One of those movies, like I mentioned earlier, that's just not the greatest film cinematic masterpiece ever, but it is a movie I could watch over and over and over again. Anyways, all right, guys. That's Corpo versus Family Run. Corpo, you're just a nut, dude. I know. And I work for a company right now that's actually both. It is a family-run organization, but they are the largest one in the state that I live. So, like, it's very much ran with a corporate mentality in mind. So they do a good job of trying to balance the two, but we still have some of those corporate things that creep in. And I've seen those things before, and I'm like, I don't necessarily want to do this. Oh, hey, y'all love that my Doom Eternal screen has a rank of not even level 2? Like, this game is super fun, super visceral, but I absolutely suck at it. Like, it's bad. But anyways, guys, that's actually going to do it for me tonight. I appreciate every single person who showed up. We have 14 likes on the video. That is a new record. And we had a total of 16 people in here at one point. We are breaking records left and right. I gained a few new subs tonight. Y'all are awesome. Make sure that when y'all sub to this channel that y'all do turn the bell notification on. Right now, being a smaller channel, it's very unlikely it's going to pop up on your timeline. So that's a good way to check. I have a review dropping for Titanfall probably Monday or Tuesday. I have the review done, but I want to redo the audio for it because I'm not too happy with how it turned out. Next week, I have RP Gaming coming on with me for the Thrifty Gaming News podcast. And yeah, it'll be him and me, and I have potentially one other. It seems like he's confirmed, and actually, you know what? Let me check. Let me see what he said. Let me see. Yeah, he's in. So I actually have Porter Rock 77 coming next week as well. So that is pretty freaking awesome. RP Gaming, I appreciate it. We'll see you later. Toolman, thanks, dude. Like I said, man, I don't know what I'm going to do if I actually can get this thing monetized. I may do something really cool for, like, some of my day one, some of those people who've been kind of ride or die with me from the beginning. I mean, dude, how do you think I feel? Like I'm in with royalty, okay? Like he's gonna be on my show. It's weird. Um, I actually, funny enough, this is how much of, just a Sony pony and an unrealistic jerk I can be. I actually only know of Porter Rock because of Doc Dark. I found Doc Dark's channel. Yeah, man. RP is a kiss ass. Dude, I am telling you, man. Uh, I contacted him about 3 weeks ago, I think. And man, he's been wonderful. He's been very gracious. I'm super excited about it. And kind of gives old church a day off, you know. Dude, Doc Dark is a wonderful, wonderful guy. And then I found out from Twitter that Doc and Porter Rock are brothers. And I was like, oh, yeah, duh. Like, you look at it and go, yeah, they're twins. Oh, no, they're not. Okay. But they look so much alike. And, like, that's how all that came to be. And then that's actually his show is the reason why I don't do a Tuesday show, because I don't want to step on the toes of Jez, who's Monday, Porter Rock is Tuesday, Salty is Thursday, Friday is Friday is good lord, it's a Reforge Gaming's member stream, and that thing usually pulls big numbers, and a lot of us all run in the same circle. Mooch is also on, and so I picked Wednesday because I was like, ain't nobody doing nothing on Wednesday. I tried to kind of figure out when Thrash does his roundtable, but he does those like whenever the heck he dang well pleases. So anyways, got a great show coming up next week. After that, I have a couple others that I'm really trying to get on. And yeah, guys, anyways, I have talked long enough. Hope y'all enjoyed the background. Hope the music wasn't loud enough. As always, guys, be a cheap bastard and stay thrifty.